It's time for the Extreme Gaming Podcast with Gray, Trev, Matt, and Tarl, my gaming buddies.
Extreme Gaming Podcast, episode 287. Thanks for joining us. We're on every week, if you didn't know that already. I'm Gray Gamer 25, and my cohorts here are Go.
Hello, Trev, as always. And for the record, I hate that intro.
I don't mind at all, and I'm Matt, also known as Irish Guardian. I had to think then. I haven't used that.
You don't like
phrase.
cohorts? Well,
I'm cohort
sorry,
number
Carl.
4. Oh, that's fine, It's okay. Cohort number 4. Howdy.
Hello, Tal.
Howdy.
Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry I
you're
wasn't here the
gone a
last
week
couple
or
of weeks,
two.
guys. Yeah, I know. It's life happens sometimes,
You'll have so much stuff to saved up now that you can just we'll have to stop you from talking.
I've got some good stuff today, actually. I'm pretty excited to talk about some interesting things today.
I'll tell you, every time we do a show like this, I keep on thinking, maybe it's a slow news day, and then all of a sudden, all kinds of stuff starts happening, and you don't even have enough to say. Oh my god!
I think we're going to go long, looking at the schedule.
Yeah, we can't go long though for certain social medias, but don't worry, we're okay. To get the paperwork out of the way, as we always say, our Discord, discord.gg/extreme gaming podcast. That's discord.gg/extreme gaming podcast. Look for us on YouTube, obviously. You'll see the audio. You'll see our video that comes a day after the audio. You'll see our shorts. You'll see our quick breaks and all that fun stuff.
Will you see our t-shirts? Will you see our t-shirts or just our shorts?
Well, it depends.
Wow.
If your t-shirt goes below your shorts, you might be able to see it.
Well, you got a sock.
So we're going to kind of roll right into it because there's a lot of stuff here, and we will try to cover as much or all of it as we can. So the first thing up is our game news, and Trev's going to take this one away.
Howdy.
Hello.
Yes, I am going to share some stuff on some sales. I only do it when I think it's to the benefit of you people. We do the painful work of deciding or trying to figure out what is good and what's shit in the world of deals and games and whatnot. I thought...
Not to mention we need to do that because they're $70 and $80 games, and, if we could save our people, we should.
Steam summer sale on now to July 10th. These used to be really crap back in the day, if you recall, because sites like CDKs came along and went, hold my beer. And then Steam went, oh, they're coming for someone. I think it's Matt. That was the NYPD, in case you're wondering. They're after Matt. They're always after Matt.
They found out it was me that was driving.
Wait a minute. The NYPD has moved over to UK?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
what would you call the London version?
Bloody.
The LYPD. No. I don't know. I think
That works.
UK
LC, London City Police Department, LCPD.
Yeah, there you go. LCD. Yeah.
I'd go with that. Better than the Met.
Not to be confused with LED.
Yeah.
No,
That'd
or yeah.
you get more out of them, that's for sure.
So I did shift through these to try and find some decent things.
I tried that one.
There are some better deals. The main thing for I will read this out, of course, for the audio listeners, but visually, the deep discounts tend to be the better things, because when I look at the main deals at the top, there's nothing too exciting. I mean, like Power World is like £18 odd, which I guess is decent. And I'm going through these other things. I don't see anything too fascinating in that. Cyberpunk, 17 quid. Like nothing too exciting there. But when I come down to the deeper discounts, the things that I saw last time I thought were actually decent. Guardians of the Galaxy is a £5. It's actually decent at OK Games, 6 or 7 out of 10. For a £5, you really can't go too wrong there if you're looking for some Marvel shenanigans. Star Wars Battlefront 2, £3.50. Much cheapness. Borderlands 3, £2.50. I mean, wow, just sensational. Jurassic Park Evolution 2, £2.50. RoboCop, now get this one, RoboCop Rogue City, a very solid 7 or 8 out of 10, £4.49, or equivalent where you come from. You boys played that, haven't you? You played it, Matt?
Yeah.
Taro?
No.
Oh, speaking of that,
I understand.
I took advantage of the sale. I bought both the RoboCop and I bought the what the new one that's not out yet?
Oh, the DLC.
Business. What is it? Business confirmed it. Whatever it was. And the two together was only like $30, $35. And I was like, cool. So
Wait, the new one? It isn't out yet. How did you buy something that's not out?
It's on pre, isn't it?
I don't know. I went on there and they had a deal going for the other one too. So I said, all right,
they do. Yeah.
Where?
I see it here. Up on Steam.
I don't know. Maybe it's
I'm on
on
Steam.
now.
I'm sharing right now with you boys.
Yeah, complete collection down at the bottom.
That one there.
Yeah, try that and see what it is. Yeah.
Oh, complete your purchase. It's saying complete your purchase. That's good. It's taking that into consideration. Right. Okay.
Well, yeah, but I never bought the other game. So when I came on and saw that both were like $30 or $35, something like that, I just said, "Damn, I'll take that." So I did it.
Well, the thing is, right? This game, RoboCop. So it's Rogue City is the name of the game, but Unfinished Business is
business. There you go.
Unfinished. Did I say finished business? The thing is, right? The new one is only £17 in CD keys, and that is $22.49. So I'm going to CD keys to get it because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
The first game is brilliant, by the way. I've got a funny feeling this is DLC that was turned into a Game Boys. The turnaround was too quick for an Unreal 5 game. But it's not a bad thing. I don't mind that. It's a cheaper price. It's I'll buy that. I'll buy that for $1. Sorry, it had to be said. It had to be said. But anyway, yes.
Can you fly, Bobby?
Such a good movie. So have a look. You might find some bargains there. There's loads of stuff in here, like generally loads of stuff. DLCs, they do it on DLCs as well. Have a little nosy through, but I'll stop sharing for now because that's kind of most of the good stuff I saw.
You missed what can only be described as the best game in that whole list.
Oh, Half-Life.
Black Mesa is a fan-made reimagining or remake of Half-Life that was endorsed by Valve.
Yep.
And if you've never played Half-Life 1, this is the way to play it. It is absolutely incredible. So, and it's like £1.50, £1.60. Everyone just go and buy it. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's basically a kind of nice remake. And did they get to keep the money for that one, though, Taro? I wonder.
Don't know the details. I know it was endorsed by Valve. I know they helped them a little bit. Like they gave them some of the assets and they gave them some access to the code and things. Okay. So I don't know what.
I think originally it was
anniversary as well on Steam.
Right, but it was considered a mod when it came out. So I don't know if it cost money when it came out or not. But it costs now, I think, right? Something?
Well, that Black Mesa.
I'm not sure how that works.
It was like £15 or something.
Okay.
Okay.
But anyway, go and have a look, guys. It is decent now, the sales, because they know they need to compete with CD Key as well. So you all get some gems here.
Trev, don't they change to like every couple days or whatever?
Yeah, every day, I believe. Yeah, so go in every single day if you really want to pick up a bargain and add to that ever-expanding Steam collection, because we all know that you've completed your whole list and there's nothing left for you to play in your hundreds of fecking games, literally. I mean, mental.
I played every one of my 200 games, yes.
Yes, of course you have, Greg. Yes. Anyway, okay, moving on. Newsflash, Hideo Kojima is a nutter.
Yeah, we knew that.
He's a nutter, right? I'll give you some context, of course I will. This is slightly older news, but I wanted to bring this up because Death Stranding 2's just come out, I think, about now-ish. Or it's about to come out, one or two. Yeah. And it's doing really well, even better than the first game, so I'm happy for him. However, apparently the man went back and actually changed some elements of the game after positive feedback came to him, saying that the game is great, all the reviewers loved it. He went, I'm not having that, and he went and changed it. You heard that correctly. He got good reviews, and he went back and went, no, it's too good, they're enjoying it too much, I'm going to change it. And the reason being is the guy is a couple of dilithium crystals short of a warp core. He's not right. His thinking, right, in his head, he's a wacky guy, like, love him or hate him, it's like Marmite. Or Vegemite or whatever. You either love him or you hate him. He wants something controversial with his game. He wants something kind of batshit crazy where people go, okay, that's crazy, that I actually like it now, you know? And I think he's actually managed to pull it off with the changes he made. What changes he made, I don't know. But the guy, I don't get him. I really don't get him. Like, this is a guy that made Metal Gear Solid, genius. And then I don't know if he just like fell downstairs one day or something, and he started making crazy games, because apparently Death Stranding 1, after the first so many hours, is really good fun. I will go back to it at some point. I've got it on the PlayStation. But the second one is supposed to ramp up even more after so many hours. Have any of you boys played any of the Death Stranding games or will play them?
I played some of the first one. Like yourself, I probably haven't hit that hours mark where it gets a little bit more exciting.
Are you still in delivery simulator at the moment? Or
pretty much, yes. Yeah.
That sounds like
I can't deal with that. I'd have to
start to get into the things coming.
So, Matt, when you pass all the delivery bullshit that I can't stand, and send me your save file so I can play it from there.
Yeah, all right.
That'll work.
I'll do that. Yeah.
I mean, don't go wrong. It's got like Norman Reedus in it from The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah.
So,
he's brilliant on it. The interactions as well. It's really fantastic. I love it.
Here's another little kind of side tangent, but linked to this. It was another article that I don't have linked down, but it does link into this a little bit. Something Hideo Kojima was saying before, where people were asking, like, you don't really have many like Japanese or Asian characters in your game, and he went, yeah, no, there's a good reason for that. He said scanning Asian folk into games, he said, doesn't turn out too well. He says it's down to like the skin tone and whatnot, because it's different, isn't it? He said it doesn't actually agree. Coco, shut up. I always say that. It's a line I've got to say when I hear the dog barking. Yeah, he's a little bit. He wants more Asian folk in his game, but like the skin tone when he scans them in for CGI doesn't turn out very well, he says. And on top of that, he can't find anyone, or he struggles to find someone that can speak. Sure, you go and do a Michael Jackson, and you do your thing, mate, and get yeah, go for it. He wants someone who speaks both languages well. For example, Japanese and English really well. And to find a voice actor that does both very well is very hard. He will more likely find someone that is English speaking that can speak some or a level of Japanese, but the other way around is difficult, or to get them both fluent, very difficult. But at one point, he would like to try and improve that, because he's Japanese himself, so he would like to get more folk in that. So yeah, Hideo Kojima's a nutter, so we know that.
Before you go on, I got to throw in some stuff about, because I played the Metal Gear Solids, and not the older ones, but the last couple, whatever. And I noticed, I noticed in Phantom Pain, and even the one before, each time he made a game, he was loving himself more and more, if you know what I mean. So he's very egotistic as far as who he is and what he does, and that you should definitely, and I'm not trying to say he doesn't do good games, at times, but it's almost kind of like you have to, you have to be you have to kiss Hideo Kojima's feet before you can really talk to him about stuff. Oh yeah, and that's just and he hasn't changed from that perspective at all. If anything, he's more like that, and that's the one thing that bores the hell out of me. Because when I played Phantom Pain, as much as I loved that game, and it was a great game, and I'll go back and play it again. That's how good it was. Some of the cutscenes, man, I mean, they were just too much. It would come up like it was a movie. It's only like a 2-minute cutscene, and it comes up and says Hideo Kojima did this, and starring, and this, and it's a cutscene. Just show the cutscene and get out of there. And it's produced by Hideo Kojima, and Hideo Kojima does everything. And I'm like, oh my god.
Gray, the thing is you'll know this. All you boys will know this. All the listeners and viewers will know this. Often, geniuses tend to be at least a little bit batshit crazy. Unfortunately, it's what makes them different.
The fine line.
Yeah, it really is. And he's vaulted over that fine line with a bloody massive stick. No, he is a genius. There's no denying it. Like, he done the Metal Gear Solid thing. Death Stranding, if you look at it as a whole, is they've got great reviews, so you can't argue with that. And he's doing this massive project with Sega and Microsoft over some cloud gaming thing that'll be years away from now. So, love him or hate him, like I say, it's like Vegemite, Marmite. Yeah, I don't know what side of the line I'm on, to be honest.
One other thing I had to mention, you said that he felt that the trying to 3D map Asian people doesn't look as well, or does the skin tone or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's all garbage, and I'll tell you why. If you and I know everybody's gonna cringe at this, but take a look at Stellar Blade. That was a 3D map of a Korean actress, and they also used another Korean model for the face. And stuff. So they did all this 3D mapping of the body, the face, and it looks fine. It looks really great. So I can't go by that. I don't know what he's talking about. And on top of that, I saw a mod for Stellar that said that it improved on the skin tones. Although they didn't say they did it because she was Oriental. They just said that they felt that the skin tones needed improving. And when I saw the results of the mod, I'm going like, oh, now it's just even better. So I don't go along with that at all. I think that's ridiculous.
Well, fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion, my man. Right, moving on from there. We have. I'm excited about. I really am excited about this because I love the franchise. We have some Resident Evil 9 gameplay coming out in February 27th next year. That's the kind of lead we're looking for, guys. I think I want to know about 6-8 months ahead. I don't want to be known a year or more ahead. This is. I'll scan through this a little bit for the audio listeners. I'll play a little trailer on the side to give the guys a quick glimpse of what's what. This takes place, or it's connected to events in Resident Evil 3 where they bomb Raccoon City, and like the lady in this, I forgot, is it Grace or something like that? She's got connections to folk in the original game. This gives you a choice of first person or third person. Don't know which view I'll go in. Recent games have been third person, so I don't know, but first person they say is scarier.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's more in your face. So.
See that bit there? That was the last game where that big, massive, tall wifey was chasing after him, and I shit myself. I was like running away. I was like screaming like a little girl, like, no, go away. Like, her, the big madam. Scared. That's my limit of horror, guys. That's about as much as I can tolerate. I will never go. I've said before, I played Alien Isolation, and just nope, hard pass, no way. So here's our protagonist.
Horror games are so much scarier than horror movies. I love a horror movie, but horror games, they just scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, I could do 10 minutes of Phasmophobia on my own, that's about it. And then just staying next to the door.
Just no for me.
Throw things in and hope for the best.
Can I see that's familiar? Yeah. Like, we're going back. It's like stuff that's been rebuilt. But yeah, so you're following Grace as she goes back to investigate what's going on. And then look, it's stunning. They've literally done the hair physics. Like, the hair is stunning on her. Like, I can't remember the name of the engine Capcom used, but it's gorgeous. And they've done such a good job with her. And this is a Japanese company scanning in a character that's not Japanese, Grace, so they might be agreeing with Hideo in that one, just saying. But yeah, like, it's I will probably get that in day one. There's not many games I do get in day one, but I generally adore those games. And yeah, like, move on from there. I just wanted to give you a kind of quick glance at it. Any of you boys fans of this will get this game at some point, or no?
Yeah, I'll probably wait till it's on a little bit of a sale. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more, say no more.
Wait, is that Monty Python? Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. You're a naughty man.
I like the idea that it's third and first person, because if you're playing first person and you feel like the jump scares are too much for you in first person, you can then switch to third, which will dampen it some. So that's cool.
Well, yeah. Switch views and
I like that.
Switch views until, you've had a chance to, like, clean up the poo, and then you can go back to the other view again and carry on. The little blurb for the game, the article says that game will mark a bold shift for the franchise, according to Capcom, and stars Grace Ashcroft, the daughter of Resident Evil Outbreak's Elsa. Is that Elsa or Alicia? Alicia, on an FBI
Elsa's
analyst.
Frozen.
Mate, you absolutely butchered my paragraph. No need for that. An FBI analyst investigating a series of mysterious deaths in Raccoon City 30 years after it was bombed in the events of Resident Evil 3. It clearly looks at least partially re-bloody built because the police station looks absolutely grand to me. But anyway, right, we'll move on from there. The last thing I've got in my calendar is something I like watching from time to time but not playing. And I know Matt plays this, so I will want your opinion on this after. The guys over at Bohemian Interactive have announced an expansion to the popular zombie DayZ game. It's called Badlands, and it's set in a new desert environment for the game. It's out next year at some point. We don't know when, but it's the largest official map in the game's history. 267 square kilometers of desert for people to explore. There was a little kind of small-ish trailer. Now, Matt, you play this, my man, or you played it in the past.
Used to. Yeah.
Your thoughts on it? Do you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it, but what I see with what they're doing is you got the same problems, new maps. So they're not really improving things, but they're just bringing out more maps, more expansions, more DLCs for the monies. But they're not actually fixing certain aspects of DayZ. Though it is nice, it is fun to play. But yeah, I was looking at this the Badlands, and it looks really awesome. I do like the structure, I should say, the map itself. It's better than the last one. I didn't like much of the last one, so I didn't buy that one at all.
Oh, what was it? One Frostline. My problem is I like watching this and not playing it. If I was playing it with pals, it'd be different. It's such a good social experiment. Dean Hall, the guy that done this back in the day, he is now left, but it was his little social experiment. Bohemian are just looking to make money off this because they see the third-party maps coming out. Mm-hmm. And they're cracking. Like, they are absolutely phenomenal, some of these maps, and Bohemian want a slice of the pie. But Matt's right, they bring out these maps, but they don't change some of the underlying issues and bugs and faults this game's got. It's got a hardcore following in this game. It's not a massive following, but it's got a hardcore following. I've added Frostline to my kind of wish list. Whether I'll ever buy it, I don't know. But it is popular. There is a new map coming next year, so keep your eyes out for more information on that. They tend to be pretty costly and cost a few quid, but it's more than just a map. It is a DLC, so the assets and whatnot and guns and all that stuff come to it as well. So
yeah, there's more to it than just the map itself. Yeah,
is Badlands. So yeah, that is me for now on the game news.
Nice,
Mr. Gray.
I guess we're going to come up on doing some reviews. Matt, do you have another simulator, or is it different stuff to say?
This time, it's it's not a simulator. So this one is an ARPG instead. Actually, no, action role play. There we go. See, I remembered. So this one's called Beyond the Map, which is quite interesting. This one, it's shaping up to be a real good gem. Let me grab my notes here now.
Is that for flat earthers? Beyond the map, you just kind of fall off the side.
Yeah. Beyond the edge, it should have been called. Yeah.
Venture off the world.
Wet me whistle. Right. So you're into So this is character-driven exploration, deep crafting. So it drops you into a procedural-generated fantasy world after a shipwreck, where survival means mastering everything from combat to crafting. With the game, there's no fixed classes, so when you level up, you organically unlock new abilities as you play, and then you just click on the skills to get those parts done. So there's no in-depth hardcore, you have to press a million buttons to do something, which is one thing I like about it. It's also got spell books that grant magical powers, which gives you those skill trees, so you got those abilities to use fire, ice, or whatever you want, really, to be honest. While weapons are easier to wield and upgrade as well as you go along. They have base building as well. which is part of the central crafting of it all, I guess. So you gather, you craft, and fortify your own stronghold. There you don't actually have to have foundations. You just whack things on the floor, and then you build up from there. And you just forage and craft from things in the game. So pretty much from there, you can forage for herbs, mushrooms that give you magicka points, minerals.
It's always those mushrooms, man.
It is. And enchantments. You can craft armor, weapons, of course, potions, and even, as I said, magical enhancements. You can specialize in professions like alchemy or blacksmithing, which adds more depth and replayability. I didn't hit that stage of going there because I just went off and decided that I could take on the world as I was. So
did it work?
No, I died. I got chased by anything and everything, and then as soon as I kept on going to get these undeady drowned, as they call the drowned, there were wild beasts that kept coming after me at the same time, as well as bears and some other dragon-looking things. So it was quite fun.
There you go. Serves you right for not skilling up first.
I know. True indeed. There you go. Yeah, what can you do? So yeah, the enemies. Combat blends are like a hack and slash, click and slash, and tactical dodging with spacebar. There's no jumping, unfortunately, and there's also spell timing. Yeah, I tried to jump, didn't work for me. I got stuck on a rock.
Can you climb up stuff?
No, you can't.
All right.
No, unfortunately.
So it's running around, walking around, or whatever.
Running and walking, rolling.
Can you fly in this game?
Stuck on a rock, huh?
Can you fly in this game?
No, unless you get smacked hard.
Can you ride a horse?
Not yet, no. So, yeah, it's still in its early stages, so maybe they might bring that in. So you got undead mages, corrupt beasts, those are the ones and things, and other biome-specific horrors like wolves, bears. I've had them all. So yeah, they're Roman packs, especially at night, and they ambush you as well. So there you go. There are some surprise spawns where you'll find if you go towards there's a shipwreck area or
a lot of action in your neighborhood tonight.
There is.
He is in London, to be fair.
Oh no! Back off.
For about a millisecond, I almost believed that.
And then swap back again.
Yeah. You're not taking me alive this time. Here's me winky.
No, this time. How many times have you died and come back to life? That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this is early access launching in the third quarter of 2025. People are finding it quite promising. They love the freedom of the progression, immersive world. So yeah, there you go.
Well, let me ask you a question then. Granted, it's early access. I get it. So what would you give the game out of 10?
I would give that one right now as it is. I would give it a 6. It has a lot of promise. It's got a lot of things going for it. I liked it. You had your building thing. Though I do find the tutorial was kind of not very up to par, sort of thing, unfortunately. And they don't like you skipping.
That's why you had to run around and all the time.
Roll. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and you also got a stamina thing, which you can't roll. But you can roll and then run around like a lunatic, and then roll. So,
roll. Yeah.
Beware of your rolls, people.
I'm dizzy, man. I am dizzy. There's so much rolling. I'm really dizzy now.
Really.
It's like me on the way to work.
I love the mechanic. There's a mechanic. I don't know if it's still in there, but there's a mechanic in AC Shadows where you can actually roll faster than you can run.
Yeah.
In certain instances, only in certain instances, and I'm going seriously. So I'm sitting there going I'm surrounded by 2 or 3 enemies. So I start rolling. I'm rolling all over the place, and they can't keep up with me. It's so funny. Not realistic at all, but it was interesting.
That's what I do when I go shopping.
Who had 30 minutes on Gray mentioning Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, here's me, Wallace. Sorry.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
just the weekly sweepstake.
It's like me mentioning the Switch too a lot. You know, it's what would you have in your book?
Who said you mentioned the Switch? See? There you go. Another 10 for
another $10 for you. It's coming in the mail.
It's not like I mention Star Citizen every 5 minutes.
Hey, did I mention this? No, never mind.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, this next game I've been wanting to hear about because you've been telling me about it for such a long time. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to this. This I always had my eyes since I heard about it, sort of thing, and I was like, oh, I need to find out more about this. So Minsk, which is an indie survival horror, that is quietly building a cult following of me. There's more.
Of you, no one else.
Yeah,
Very cult.
So, absolutely, yeah. So it's a third-person survival horror adventure set in a toxic, post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
It's easy for you to say.
Jesus.
Yeah. Gonna pipe and smoke that, I tell you. So you play as a robot explorer built by a lone engineer navigating the ruins of a collapsed civilization. Humans. Ugh.
I actually saw a trailer on that, so which I thought was interesting. Is instead of being a normal-ish character, you're a robot. Period.
Yeah.
And some people like that, and some people don't. I mean, I thought it was kind of neat. It's different.
Yeah.
I mean, so I thought that aspect of it was kind of cool.
It is pretty cool.
So you played because you were invited to the test thing, or what was that?
Yeah, so they did an invitation of a closed test, which is awesome. So I sent like my email off to them from Steam, and they give me a nudge and go, "Yeah, play it." So I was like, "All right, I will. Thank you very much. Don't mind if I do."
And your opinion?
Boom. So here it is. Let's play
Okay.
live it. Can I do the?
Yeah, it'll go for there you go. Minsk. Minsk. Yeah,
Come on,
okay.
play it. Come on.
Is that not a place?
Hit that little thing again. It's so tiny. That's why you can't do it.
It's definitely.
Probably shouldn't-
Or hit spacebar?
Done both.
Yeah.
Nah, broke.
Yeah, it's working
I
real
broke it.
well.
I broke it.
You might have to go to YouTube for that one.
Yeah.
Refresh.
Fresh.
Oh,
Don't follow that one.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Now it's playing.
There you go. So you guys.
Yeah,
can
this is
watch
what
it.
I saw. I think it's cool.
It is pretty cool.
I remember Matt sharing this with us a few weeks back, actually, and I was like initially, another survival game, but it was an interesting take on just the robot being your bitch and like, yeah, you go and survive. Well, like we send things to like other planets first to like investigate, like yeah, send the robots, man. Screw them. But you know what happened? Skynet's a thing, and they'll rebel and just screw us over. So.
Absolutely.
I think they've been. Did anyone see that Tom Hanks film with the robot? It looks like that's heavily inspired.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
brilliant.
By that
That.
film.
That's fantastic, that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was brilliant. I love that film.
I like that
Robin's
movie. It
Gold.
was really good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
can't
So
remember what
this
it's called.
world, as you can see, is layered vertically. So it's multi-tiered cityscapes with fog-choked streets and crumbling towers. So your mission is to scavenge resources, avoid or confront hostile machines and other beings, and uncover the mystery behind the devastation.
Wait, hold on. It's modular integrated network systems kinetics.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
Minsk.
it. I couldn't say that. Try to put that in your
I'm
pipe
lucky
and
I
smoke
was.
it. Yeah. So there you go.
Come on, tell me more about it. What did you
yeah,
start?
the
How'd
game
you start
leads-
out?
Let me tell you more. Well, hold your horses.
Okay, I'm holding it.
So the game leads
I'm
into
holding it with both
atmospheric
hands.
storytelling with a minimal dialogue and heavy reliance on environmental cues. So the robot currently communicates via robot static and signal tones, which adds to the isolation, but can feel a bit emotionally flat. That's what I find. Because I was hoping there was a bit more interaction from the robo. You know, give it a name, give it something, some sort of personality. You know, give it a bit of an R2 nudge or a K2. So yeah, hopefully they do add a vocal modulation there for them. More reactive audio cues when entering with the environments would be nice. It's not puzzle heavy. I find there are like traversal challenges. There you go. Like moving crates, climbing ledges, and navigating blocked paths. So it's not too pain in the arsey. There's also areas that require creative use of physics or timing, which I was lucky. I had to like find a pathway while I was getting chased by some critters. And I totally got lost and fell.
Is this the demo map? Is it actually out just now? Or
No.
is it the demo?
That was, so that's pretty much the
alpha test, I guess.
Released to be announced. It's
Right,
on there's a second. Maybe there is. Yeah, so there's a second playtest. So if anybody wants to, they can click on the thing and ask for access there. But yeah, it looks really good.
So the robot had limited vocabulary, or you just went around going beep, beep,
Yeah,
beep, beep, beep?
so pretty much you have like this little hovering flashlight, which I thought was the one that was making a couple of noises. It wasn't very standouty, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So they could do a little bit better on that side. I mean, it is the first closed test run anyways. Visually, I found that the game was very impressive. Apparently it's done by a small team in the Unreal Engine 5.
Of course.
So the sharp textures, dynamic lighting, and of course the hauntingly detailed ruins. There are some clipping issues that I went through. Objects were phasing through walls, and pretty much from what you saw the beauty things, if I stepped in the wrong direction somewhere, I'd end up where all you see was blocks. Climbing blocks. Pretty much that was it.
If you remember in the old days, we used to put in that console command, no clip, and just walk right through stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So that was pretty much what I was like. It was just like, but it was very nice. The character on the radio sounded really good. He guided you through the playtest, funny enough. So it wasn't part of any story of what the game was. It was his own thing, which I thought was quite interesting. So they don't pretty much throw you into any part of the story, so they don't give that away. So that's quite interesting that they went through that. But playing it was quite nice. It was pretty good. I liked it. The climbing, atmospherics, the climbing, crouching was quite interesting. The abilities of using weapons was interesting, what they use, it's like an energy weapon where you actually power up as well, and you have to find power modules for it as well to keep it going, as well as yourself. So it was interesting.
So it's in good nick then, and good condition for something that's like an alpha then, yeah?
Yeah, pre-alpha,
so
I'd say. It's a playtest prior to that, so yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. I'll give it a 7.5 to 8 out of that.
That's impressive
That's
for a
pretty
game
good.
so early. When does it come out again, Matt? Remind me. Or did they not have a date?
It didn't have a date so far.
Maybe best don't announce the date until you're confident you can actually bloody hit it. So,
yeah. So, fingers
I
crossed.
think they need to put some voice to the robot, though, at least a little bit more.
Do they though?
What you're telling me.
That's not how robots talk, though. Like they don't need to talk in English. Like they use like ones and zeros.
Well, they can talk any language they like as long as you get something out of them.
Well, not these robots. This is in the future.
Yeah,
They talk. They talk.
These are dumb robots.
if it walk, it can
They
talk.
should. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, they should do something like the Star Wars robots. They have like some attitude and personality to them.
Yeah.
You know, which is cool.
Even Buck Rogers has a robot that has a bit of
It does seem a
personality.
bit silly. That, like the game seems to be around like having this companion, but yet the companion you can't really interact with it that much. It seems like a bit of a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
True.
That the Hanks movie was Finch. That's what it was. Finch. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That was good. It was good. I wasn't sure what to make of that when I first heard about it, but it was a good movie.
It was good.
Indeed.
So
Tom Hanks sure can carry a film.
Yeah.
Thanks much there, Matt. I know you're working on some other simulator games, so I'm sure we're going to hear about those eventually.
Game simulator.
Yeah.
Simulator, the ultimate simulator for everything.
Yes.
Right, universe simulator just kind of goes on and never ends. All right, I got a little game news, and of course, my first story is
Assassin's Creed.
Oh, God, no way.
What are the chances?
Who didn't delete it? Come on.
I was thinking about it, but I did want to tell people that the new update's in 1.06, which they added a nightmare difficulty. But there were some players that were a little upset because there was the weapon that they now I use is a kunai. It's a knife that you throw. It's pretty fun. You have different engravings on different weapons, whatever it might be. So apparently that a lot of people were relying on this particular engraving on the weapon itself, which basically gave you back 50% of those weapons when they're lost. And a lot of players were using that and felt that was one of the best tools in the game. Well, Ubisoft didn't say anything about this, but when they put the update in, they nerfed it down to 10%. So instead of a 50% chance of some tools coming back, only 10% now. But nothing was said. So now the players, of course, the way we are, they start trying to find out, well, did you nerf it on purpose without telling us, or is it a bug? And, of course, Ubisoft hasn't said a word. Not yet.
Bug, then.
Of course, if I were them, I would come out and say, yeah, it's a bug. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a bug.
Yeah.
Quick, fix that thing really fast, can you?
We forgot to put
we don't need our stock going down anymore. Please, just do, yeah. So I hope that gets corrected for some of the players out there, but at least they did get in some other things that they wanted, and Nightmare Mode was something that everybody asked for. I can't even get near Nightmare Mode on any game. If I put Nightmare Mode on it, just lift my arm up and I'm dead.
Well, is that not exclusive to Doom, Nightmare Mode?
No, you got
it might be.
Isolation does it.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, there's a few games that do it.
I don't know, the 90s.
I was going to say, I don't know if Doom might have been the first one to maybe coin the phrase. That could be quite possible. But yeah, you hear Nightmare Mode a bunch in lots of other games. People that are really good at games. I'm amazed watching them playing Nightmare Mode on some of these things. That's just like, I'm looking and going like, that's not possible, man. You're not human.
Yeah.
When you're playing this game, it's got to be something else going on. Anyway, yes, a new announcement was made for Fallout 5. I don't even think about Fallout 5 because it's got such a long time. But this announcement apparently upset some fans, or they really just don't understand what it meant. Bethesda came out and said just get this one out. Bethesda came out and said that they simply don't have the people to cover every project, which leaves them focusing on the most important games at the moment. Of course, Fallout apparently is not that important. So
what? They said that Fallout isn't an important game to them.
No, they didn't say that specifically, but they said they're focusing on the most important games right now. I'm like, okay. So basically they're saying like they're torn between the fact that they want to get Elder Scrolls 6 out and that they wanted to see the release of Starfield, which they could have left in the gutter and just done, if the Fallout would have been better, and also new Fallout. So a lot of the fans went to Reddit right away, right? And they sat there going like, he goes, well, look, I know games are expensive. I know they take longer to make, but waiting 10 years for a sequel when most gaming companies are taking in billions of dollars seems extremely silly. So
yeah,
I was like, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. One other Reddit guy, though, said it real good. I really like this quote. He goes, I don't really understand why Bethesda doesn't outsource more side projects like New Vegas.
Yeah.
That really hit home because that was
a game ever.
Right, and that was an outsourced game. So it makes you wonder, like, don't sit there and tell us you can't do it, dude. Go get the team that did that game and tell them to work on this.
Great. The issue we've got here, well, not issue, the fact Microsoft own their asses, right? So ultimately it's up to Microsoft, their overlords. And Bethesda might be truthful in what they're saying, but Microsoft know how popular the Fallout TV show was, and there was rumour that they would actually get resources elsewhere, like Fallout New Vegas, from another studio to make another game to help speed things on. I probably believe that Bethesda do have a lot on their plate at the moment, but it's up to their overlords to then find resources elsewhere and help them with it. I know they are reluctant to do that because Fallout is their baby. It's like they're one of their, if not their main number one franchise. But just don't make it crap whatever you do, like with another game, because I mean, Fallout 76 started off pretty badly. It's like a No Man's Skies. It got there in the end, but it had problems at the start. So we want a good Fallout 5.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the problem is Microsoft took this on and they said they didn't want to interfere, et cetera, and it's taking them so long to interfere. that this is why it is what it is. So now that you're losing people in AAA because you're laying them off, we don't have enough people to go around. Really, why don't you hire them back? That might be an idea. Or if you don't want to do that, then outsource, like they're all saying. So it's just like, it just seems excuses for everything. And I think Microsoft is moving too slow on it. I mean, you want to be able to capitalize on Fallout Season 2 when it comes out. You know, we're a little bit away from that right now.
December.
There's no but there's no way in hell they're going to have a Fallout game by then for sure.
Oh hell no.
So right, so you're not even trying to capitalize it. They should have started capitalizing on it the day the ratings went bonkers on the first season. They should have, a couple of years ago. They should have just right there, started working on it right away. But
yeah, I agree.
Well, anyway, we have some more game news, but Matt's up again with some stuff.
Some sort of game news, yeah.
Apple AI Highway. I want to know what that is.
Apple AI or the highway.
Or the highway. Okay.
Or the highway, I should say. I don't know. Crikey. Yeah. So this is about Apple's AI pivot. So Siri may get a boot in the old brains and either get replaced by Chat GPT or by Claude Anthropic. So they're trying to change that. I know recently when I first got my new phone, it did ask if I wanted to implement Chat GPT into the AI. And I was like, hell no. Why would I want to do such a thing? So yeah. Anyway.
So they're trying to kiss their Apple Intelligence goodbye?
Yeah. So they're going to outsource it to save a bit of the monies.
It's not been good so far, has it?
Oh, they failed spectacularly. They are so bad. They're the worst of all the main players at the moment for it.
Yeah, it's certainly not talked about as one of the better ones. I know that.
Part of it is not their fault. To be fair, if I'm playing devil's advocate, it's because they take privacy so seriously, and a lot of AI involves sending stuff to the cloud to be trained to make it better, and they refuse to do that, and that is really hampering them. Plus, they're making statements that they can't. They're cashing checks that they can't cash. So, yeah.
True indeed.
They're too busy losing $1 billion every year on Apple TV.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what's happening is they are struggling to meet expectations. Not surprising. I mean, even Amazon is a lot more clever than the old S. Just make sure she's not listening. Where you'd ask it something.
What did you say about me, you Irish?
Yeah. Amazon.
You see Apple Intelligence Siri going behind Matt with a knife.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I know your credit card details. I'm throwing it out there. Where Apple's would tell me, "Oh, here's something I found on the web," and I'll say, "That's not what I wanted." But typically, so far, what else? Yeah, so sorry there. Claude is currently the front runner in 2026.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. So as part of the revamp of its iOS 27, I think it'd be called. Yeah.
They changed the number. That's another thing. They went from 18 to 26 or whatever.
That's right. Yeah, 26.
That makes sense though. They want it to line up with the year. That makes sense.
Oh, okay, because it's just I didn't understand what they're moving the number's so high for.
And they're moving all the numbers for all their like Mac OS, iPad OS. They're all going to be 26, so you can pinpoint it. Yeah.
Makes it easier. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's Anthropic is asking for a multi-billion-dollar annual fee, which has
multi-billion with a B.
Billion, yes.
That's one hell of a subscription.
That is, absolutely. Really. Which is why Apple are kind of keeping a very close eye on OpenAI as a fallback for it. The huge reversal for Apple, which has long touched its privacy-first in-house approach, running third-party models on its own infrastructure, is Apple's way of balancing AI power with user privacy. Series full AI revamp, there you go, is expected in iOS 27, which will be later on 2026, with some featuring trickling into iOS 26 next year.
So wait a minute. So if it's not coming out until 27, that means we got to put up with a really stupid Apple phone until that time.
Unless you want to integrate it with OpenAI, which you can do already now, which it asks you to do, and I'm not doing that.
Also, it's worth mentioning that phones can still make phone calls without AI. So,
yeah. I kind of assume since they won a multi-billion-dollar deal with Anthropic or whatever, that if you think iPhones are expensive now, just wait a little while. They're gonna be off the charts.
Yeah,
It'll be like an Nvidia thing all over again.
Absolutely, it's gonna be pricey,
crazy,
pricey. Yeah. So there you go. Another one for us is from Sony.
No baloney.
Yeah, no baloney for Sony with the Rion Pocket Pro, which is a wearable climate control. It's an aircon neck collar. There you go.
Ooh,
that's what it is.
One of those today.
No, I got one last night.
Is that the one with little fans up, turn around and blowing?
Yeah, that's it. It's a surprisingly discreet and smart. It uses dual thermoelectric plates to cool or warm up your body spine where blood flows, close the skin, giving your whole body a sense of relief. The smart mode adjusts temperature automatically based on your environment and body heat, thanks to its bundled Rion tag sensor. It's also quiet, it's splash resistant, and it lasts up to 15 hours in the smart mode. You can control it on an app on your phone or on the onboard buttons.
I had a quick question. Is that just blowing air, or does it actually have like refrigerant in it?
It has like a refrigerating cooling system in its
I want to see that.
Plates. Yeah, I haven't actually found a picture of it. I must do.
I mean, if the common ones out there, of course, are the fans that just blow or whatever. But if they actually have some kind of a cooling, an honest to goodness cooling effect, like a refrigerant in a air conditioner or a freezer or whatever. I mean, now you're talking. But I can imagine what the cost would be, though.
Absolutely. Let me see
whether it would be worth it.
I think it would. I mean, it's quite interesting to see it, actually. Let me see if I can do this.
Yeah, if it actually worked.
Oh, no, it's not doing it. Come on.
Why don't you just get a helmet and just put it over your head and have the refrigerant inside the helmet? You got
exactly.
No problem. You look like a spaceman, but at least you're cool. That's it.
That is it.
There's a picture audio audience. We'll try to, watch our video.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a block. This big chunky block goes down your back. And then this bit in the middle goes. It's like a backwards pair of glasses. Sort of thing.
Okay. So they're assuming they can cool you down just through your spine only.
Yes.
That looks uncomfortable, man.
It does look kind of weird, doesn't it? It looks like the Hunchback.
Yeah. Hunchback.
I don't know. If you're sweating like a lot on your face, I can't see that thing really stopping that.
Yeah.
I mean, it might feel good, but if you're going to sweat, I mean, I can't think,
Well, you got the tubes that do the sides of you, sort of thing, so it comes out from those parts.
All right, well, whatever.
So there you go. Yeah. So
and it's only going to be $5,000. No.
20,000. So yeah, it's curved. It's fit naturally under your shirt, making it ideal for commutes, office wear, and even gaming sessions in the summer. Buy yours now.
I have a better idea. What you do is you make one of your own, but that little pack that goes down the spine.
Yeah.
You just make it empty plastic, and then just put ice cubes in there, and with a something to seal it, and that's it. You just got ice cream. That'd be even better. Ice cubes on your back, and much cheaper.
Put a bag of ice behind you. There you go. That's all you need. Yeah. So yeah, it's quite interesting. It's a lot lighter than ones that are out there, that chunky things that run on batteries and are noisy and overheat while they're trying to cool you down. So there is that as well.
I don't know. I'm telling you right now, though, if it's really expensive, they're gonna have a hard time. You'd sooner buy a $15 pair of fans that blow in your face.
Yeah, definitely. I think people will be justified in that too. Yeah, so a bit of good news or bad news, depending on how you like it. Windows 12 is delayed. Microsoft have doubled down on the Windows 11 upgrade there. It's pushed back to Windows 12, so you'll have like a new release now of version 25H2, which will be coming out later this year instead. This is a lightweight enablement package, meaning it shares the same core as the 24H2 and installs with just a with a quick reboot. A bit like everything else, really, doesn't it?
Like everything else they do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it won't bring any sweeping changes. It will include AI enhancements, performance tweaks, extended support for enterprise users, and hopefully it will avoid further fragmentation with many users still using Windows 10. launching a whole new OS could slow adoption even more.
They so much want people to get off Windows 10, even though there's still a lot of people on it.
They do, yeah. A lot of people.
They almost seem like they're embarrassed. I mean, they're like, nobody's. I mean, they still want to hang on to that 10 and not move to 11. I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I mean, I have 11, but
if I could.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I'm on 11, but I would rather do 10. The one thing I did do, I talked about it in our Discord, but I picked up 2 little cheap programs at $7.50 each. And I'm able to tweak Windows 11 now to the way I want it.
Yeah, it's now
and
looking like a Mac.
and I love it. I mean, it's great. And then there's a third program that's free. So I spent $15 on 3 programs technically, and I can do all kinds of things in Windows now that I want to, all kinds of crap. So I'm like, that's good for me.
There's a lot of good customizations I was looking at on there when you posted them.
Oh yeah, there's
Very
tons.
handy.
Just the start menu alone, I couldn't stand how Windows 11 did it. So I just went into the program I had and I just made some changes, and boom, I got just what I wanted. And they have all these customizations that you can mess with, which is even better. So
there's a version of Windows you can get, which I think is called like decluttered, Windows 11 decluttered or something.
Yeah,
and it just takes all of the gumph out of it. It takes it to proper bare bones, and it's really good.
It takes out a Copilot and all the AI as well.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
From what I heard.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So I guess we're good with Matt on that, and we turn around back to hardware and tech news, and Trev's going to give us some news on that. So take it away, Trev.
I thought if it's all right with Taro, you could do your bit next, mate, because I'm conscious that we've got a lot of information, and Matt and myself would have went a couple of times each, and if it's all right with you guys, you okay with that, Taro?
Perfect.
I want you to get your bit in, mate, before there's any chance of it with us coming up short.
Before I melt, you mean? Yeah. Okay. I could do
So in
that.
other words, yeah, we're going out of order, so don't worry. Go ahead and do your thing.
Okay, sure. So I saw this article about Disney and Universal suing AI firm Midjourney, and well, let's just say I'm going to give a little warning for hypocrisy right now. There's a little bit of hypocrisy going on here, so, as you can imagine.
Hypocrisy alert.
Yeah, the hypocrisy alert. Disney and Universal are suing Midjourney because they think that AI, I guess in general, but mainly the ones that create images and videos, are a, quote, bottomless pit of plagiarism. Now, I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of instances where there have been small artists that have complained to Disney and others, oh, you used my art and you never even gave me, any kind of acknowledgement or payment or anything. So yeah, I think it definitely goes both ways. But I think the most interesting part of this article is that what is this going to do for AI in the future? So if Disney and Universal win this, surely it's going to change the way AI has to work, right? The whole point, the whole way that AI works is scraping data that exists out in the world. If they can't do that, can AI still exist? So I'm not going to go into loads of detail here, but there's another interesting hypocrisy here, which I thought was very interesting. So Disney's chief legal officer said that the firm was optimistic about AI and how it can be used responsibly as a tool to further human creativity. He then went on to say that,
yes,
but piracy is piracy. And anything that is done by an AI company does not make it any less infringing. So here's my question to you guys. If Disney and Universal win this lawsuit, what do you think is going to happen to the world of AI?
It's going to open up and people are going to go crazy doing whatever they want while they can. Look, the problem with AI right now, and I take a keen interest in this too, and I got some stuff to talk about later, but they want to push this as fast as they can. And unfortunately, because AI moves so much faster than normal things, they're getting their way because they want to get ahead of any kind of legislation. Legislation's going to come, but how much good / damage will AI do before the legislation happens? Some stars, and we talked about it on a previous podcast, some stars are already ahead of the curve because they're going like, well, look, if you want to use my likeness, we need to sign a contract right now, and spell it out. And some people have already done that, a couple of them. And you'll notice that the ones that have done it haven't said a word
Yeah.
about it because they know they can make a few bucks if hey, look, I understand that. I don't blame them. I mean, if Tom Hanks today came out and said, sure, I'll sign a contract with yada yada and you can do whatever, he'd be raking in money without doing a thing. I mean, that's it. And that's fine because he's selling his likeness, so fine. You deserve it. But the scary thing is when is the limits going to be put on it, or when is the jurisdiction going to be set up? I mean, nobody knows.
It's going to come after this. I mean, this is a pretty
I think it will. I think it will
lawsuit,
too.
right?
Yeah, this is what typically happens. They get into this falderall, and then all of a sudden the fallout, not the TV show, ends up coming into play here, and then they figure out what they need to do.
I think they're gonna have to
Don't be
put the brakes
surprised.
on after this.
Don't be surprised if Disney and Universal lose. That's quite possible too.
And also, and this is probably, I think, the most likely outcome. They'll just settle. And they'll just pay them some money, and then perhaps those laws will be written and legislation will be written after it. But yeah, who knows? But here's one last question. Or just one last thing to think about. I think that companies like Disney and Universal, if they could, they would replace their entire workforce with AI tomorrow, if they could, right? And just get rid of probably one of the biggest wage bills that you've ever thought about. Mm-hmm. So again, there is a lot of hypocrisy here, because I think they want their cake and they want to eat it, right? They want to use it.
Sure.
To save money, but also they don't want other people to profit from what they're doing using AI. Which, it's
not even a matter of hypocrisy. It's the way world corporations work. They're going to push for everything they can, fully knowing that they're not going to get everything that they're asking for, and then it comes back to where they really wanted it, and they win either way.
Yeah,
I mean that's what's going to happen. I just wanted somebody to come to me so I can sign a contract, to use my likeness, and I think that'll be. That'll be great, and I'll make a whole 10 cents a month.
Why would anyone want to do that?
Well, I mean, there'll be one hell of a bidding war.
They
for
new
that,
alien for Star Trek, don't they? Season 4.
Trev, Matt, any thoughts on this direction that AI could be going?
Go on, Trev. You go first. Go on.
Yeah. I knew this would happen. I know, shock horror. I can see into the future. No, it just took a bit of common sense. You knew this whole AI thing was going to grow arms and legs, right? And go in so many different directions and get challenged at so many different avenues, wasn't it? People understandably are looking after themselves. At the end of the day, AI is going to be a thing. Get used to it. It just needs to be used the correct way. This is going to be challenged all the time, boys. No surprise to me. I think it's a good tool. I use it a little bit at work, but it's more for smaller tasks rather than what's going on in the industry at the moment. Just wait for games to get made in AI, and then that'll be a whole new thing. And I know
we're going to talk about that.
Gray's got that on there, but that'll be a whole new thing to get your teeth into. Yeah. But yeah, watch this space.
I saw that the one Matt was talking about earlier. I was watching the video while he was talking, and I was thinking to myself, surely this is made by AI. Everything's just so generic. The characters are generic, the level design generic, the monsters are generic. I was like, this is AI. Gotta be.
No, that's our AAAs out there.
Yeah. There are. Yeah. I think it's gonna come a lot more abundantly, out there, especially more in public's eye, especially with all this AI coming on, where they're going to have to say, okay, AI has been part of this, which I think, with what you were saying with that game, there is going to be an element of AI there, and I'm just wondering where it is, how much it's going to be AI, and if, what little tweaks they've edited to make it non-AI compliant, as they say. I don't know. Got to class it as.
And they're coming out with tools as we speak to detect AI because you have to.
Yeah. I mean, even my university has done that. They've got AI tools to go through all your work to see how much of an AI influence there is on there, which is awesome to do. Shame, because I wanted it to do all my homework for me.
I had my friend. I had my friend. I had my friend Tom do my work for me. Who's Tom?
Tom.
Tom
A.
So okay.
Yeah, but I agree. I think previously there's been a while back where AI generated art became very questionable with people where they're like, no, you're infringing on certain aspects. We can't class that as art, or we're not having that. So I think that might be the same with AI, or whether companies will start saying, okay, to use AI or, to generate pictures from Disney or whatever, there's going to be a fee. You're going to have to start paying fees towards it to help with that production.
I wonder if it's something
definite plagiarism. You have to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
they've
there's
got the
rights
rights to use whatever AI come up with as well. So it might be, bit, back and forth. Might benefit Disney as well in that way.
I think whatever happens in the next couple of years, there are going to be a lot of very interesting things happening in the AI world.
It's not going to take a couple of years. It'll be about 6 months, maybe 3.
Yeah, probably. I, for one, I'm very interested I'm going to keep my ear to the ground about this particular lawsuit, because I think this will help to kind of define what's going to happen in the future.
Absolutely.
So next I wanted to talk about Intel, and we all know.
Sorry, you've got
money in for Intel.
You've got to do the jingle every time you send Intel member content adverts.
Dun, dun, dun.
Do you remember those adverts that they used to do? Like, there was one where this Asian dude was walking through the office, and there was like a rock soundtrack playing, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's that guy!" And he's like, everyone's just going absolutely mad for him, like he's a rock star. And then it reveals at the end that he's an Intel engineer, and I was like, that's wicked, man. I love that.
Doesn't ring a bell. Got a bad memory though.
Intel have not been rock stars for a while. Huh? See what I did there? And they've been having a very tough time of it for the past, 5 years, 4 or 5 years. AMD are just, if someone's buying a gaming PC these days, if you're not getting an AMD CPU, you're probably a little crazy, if I'm honest.
I got it.
Definitely not godlike, is it?
Intel are struggling, and they've been going back to the drawing board by the looks of it, because it seems like their new generation chip, or next generation after this current one, could possibly have 3D V-cache, or whatever it is.
Where'd they get that idea from?
Yeah, where did they get that idea from?
Wow.
That's the AMD brand, right? So it's it's extra cache, or whatever you want to call it, on the die. But they'll call it something else. But AMD clearly had a very good idea when they created the 3D V-cache, because right now the 9800X 3D is the absolute daddy for gaming, and there's nothing that comes even close. Intel are just so far behind. So, this is really a case of, if you can't beat them, join them, I think.
So Intel's going to come out and say, we can do a copy with the best of them.
Or perhaps it's, in Intel's case, is if you can't beat them, just do what they're doing. Just steal their ideas.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
But people notice it. They see it. So unless they drop the prices to where it's under AMD's prices, I don't think anybody's going to care.
Some people might call it standing on the shoulders of giants. That's how technology.
It's a very good song, that, by the way. Oasis, recommend it.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Some might call it, just complete and total plagiarism. I don't know if that's the case. Because you can't really copy, like, they can copyright the way that they do it, the exact way, but just adding cache to a chip is not exactly,
Right.
Yeah.
And all they got to do is change the name, so they're not going to be played, hit for using the same.
And it can't be done exactly the way that AMD do it. Other than that,
I hear instead of X3D chips, they're going to make Z3D chips or something like that. Didn't tell anyway.
That sounds about right.
Tumbleweed, but add in a tumbleweed effect for your own joke there, Gray. I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Personally, I just want to see Intel get back to competing in the CPU market. That's the main thing that I care about. Intel, by the way, is still good for productivity. Like if you're doing any 3D modeling, if you're doing game design, the chips are still very, very good for productivity workloads.
All I have to say is 9950 X3D.
Yeah, that's
what I got.
Chip, yeah.
Well, that trades blows with the 285, whatever the latest Intel chip is. It trades blows with that. They often swap places for productivity, so bear that in mind.
Yeah. They're just very far behind in gaming because of AMD's 3D V-cache. So I can totally get why they're doing this. But the last thing I want to talk about is actually Intel again. Dun, 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 dun.
There you go.
Okay,
That saves the podcast from getting us sued, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, so now wait a second. So we have we have Assassin's Creed with me. We have Trev has Switch 2, and you have Intel.
Right,
and Matt has simulators.
Simulators. Yeah, there you go.
If
Nice to
anything,
know we all have our jobs in life.
if anything, I'm an AMD guy rather than Intel, or definitely Nvidia. I just thought these are some fairly interesting news. So this is the same. I think this is possibly the same generation that people are talking about for the V-cache idea that Intel are looking into. I'm not sure whether it's going to be this next generation or the one after, but the Core Ultra 300 series or Nova Lake. There's been some. There was a slide shared on X saying that we should be getting 1.1 times higher single thread performance and 1.6 times multi-thread performance, which is a pretty big jump if that's to be believed. Obviously, we can't believe it yet. It's just a rumor, and also low power as well, or lower power. But the thing that interested me on this article here is not necessarily the extra performance, but just the amount of chips, the amount of cores that they've got into them. So the 385K could have 52 cores. 52 cores. And this I mean, that's getting up towards kind of like AMD Threadripper area, you know, or even, you know, data center type
Good
chips.
luck keeping that cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. It says it's 150 watt TDP, but that'll be
bullshit.
That's the base TDP. It's probably going to be 1500 watt when it's boosting all 52 of those.
1500 watt. I can just see that.
Smoke.
You see the chip just fly off the motherboard.
Just for the CPU. Yeah, you're going to need actually 2 PSUs for this chip. You're going to need one for your CPU, and then you're going to need another one for the rest of the PC.
Well,
nuts,
or just get a hybrid 9950 X3D. Anyway,
get a
go ahead.
V8 engine, stick it in there.
So
there you go.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
The Core Ultra 3, which, you know, people will know as the i3, has 12 or 16 cores. The Core Ultra 5 or i5 has 18 to 28, and then the Core Ultra 7 has 42, and the Ultra 9 has 52.
Wow.
Yeah,
but who's counting?
They're going a very different route by the sounds of it to AMD, and I don't know, like these last two things with the amount of cores that are on a chip plus the V-cache, I don't know if they're going to be able to do both, because the V-cache adds a lot of density to the chip and it also adds a lot of heat. If you've got 52 cores on your chip and you're adding V-cache there as well, I can't see that working personally.
There is one way. They can just, you know, not bother turning on half the cores and just sell it like it is.
Well,
they could be.
Well, we said we had 52 cores, but we didn't say how many worked.
Yeah. It's going to be the size of a baked beans can now, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Intel CPU.
To be fair, boys, just because AMD haven't cracked that yet doesn't mean Intel can't. Because, okay, we give them a hard time, and rightly so.
Very true.
They are still very good at what they do. They've just dropped the ball recently and they need to pick it back up again. They very well could. They were the kings for designing CPUs for a long time, and they've been making the best gaming chips for a long time because they went on clock speed purely first and foremost. So it is possible, and I hope if they crack it, it's great for competition. Gives me a dilemma if I'm an AMD build, which I never thought it would be. never thought I'd go AMD. I said that back in the day of the podcast, because Intel were so far ahead. I was just like, I'm Team Blue. But then I'm Team whoever's best.
I'm surprised it took you so long, Trev, honestly.
Best
AMD have been miles ahead for 3 years.
Yeah, but anything up to, and I know you might disagree with this, anything up to including the 14900K was very competitive in my opinion, because they were competing with really high clocks to try and combat the 3D cache. And I'm not saying they always won in the test, because often they didn't, but it would mean they were competing at least. And then they changed their whole naming convention, whole setup, and they went to their 285 or whatever it's called, the Ultra chips, and they're just shit now because they're not going for the really high clocks, and that's all they really had going for them. So no wonder they're copying AMD and going for the 3D cache. Don't blame them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I think there's, I think since the 3D V-cache came out from AMD, that Intel have been absolutely nowhere. They cannot compete with those chips. With all of their other chips, the standard X chips, like the 5600X from AM4, the 7600X, they absolutely do compete. No question. But and especially in productivity. But versus the X3D, then they're miles away, miles and miles away. So that's a couple of years.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of ride on the coattail of what you just talked about with AMD, because one of the things that we always talked about with AMD is that, and especially Trev. By the way, when Trev actually decided to switch to AMD, that was when Intel should have started doing something, because when you lose Trev,
they did. They celebrated.
You're going right down. But they didn't listen to Trev, and look what's wrong with them now. I mean,
they'll learn next time. They'll learn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So anyway, so the thing that we've always talked about a lot, and Trev mostly, is the fact that as much as we now love the AMD chips and so forth, they always talk about the clock speeds because it can only get so high, blah, blah, blah. Well, apparently AMD has been hearing a lot of this. I decided to fight back against this. Now, let me preface this by saying these are the latest rumors, but generally speaking, when you have these kind of rumors, there's some kind of truth going on. What it is exactly, we don't know. But basically, the rumor goes that AMD's Zen 6 processor architecture is going to start putting out chips that are going to be able to break the 6 gigahertz barrier. 6 gigahertz, not 5.7, 5.8, 6. But the thing that I thought was interesting is they said they're looking to pack more cores into the next gen CPUs. They're looking to crank up the clock speeds to their quote insane levels. I don't know what that means, but and according to what I'm looking or reading here, it's saying that they're really going to push the clock speed even beyond 6 gigahertz when they come out with the next architecture. And I'm like, wow. I mean, if they simply go to 6, that would be amazing. And if they can get over that and they supposedly do what I'm reading here, they would be really far ahead of Intel at that point.
They've been close in the last gen, right? So in the 9000 series, I think 57, 58 5800 gigahertz megahertz is pretty standard. So, or at least on the higher end chips. So they're not far from it.
Yeah. So I'm just curious how they're going to do this, or how they're going to boost it even higher. What do you have to do to the chip, or is it a different chip, or is it something in the software or the BIOS? Or
well, it's a different architecture, so they've hopefully just cracked the whole. This is what Tara was talking about before, that they're kings of the 3D cache, aren't they? Mm-hmm. But trying to fit all those cores within those CCDs on the chip, things just got toasty, and that's why last gen they actually. Yeah, brilliant. That needs a little effect added there, Gray, in editing for sure. There's a little guy from Mortal Kombat, Gray, if you're looking for him. He comes from the right into the screen. You need to add him in. Right. But yeah, like they cracked it a little bit last time, AMD, big style, when they actually found a better formula of keeping things cooler. Did they put they put the cores on the top, am I right in saying? Or was it the cores at the bottom?
Yeah, so it used to be that the V-cache was on top, I think, and the cores were underneath, and then they've changed it around and done some other stuff.
And it's cooler.
Technical, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Let me read one quote, which I think it takes a lot of balls to put this, but they go, According to the latest word from the rumor mill, we're looking at speeds that don't just break 6 gigahertz barrier, but smash it into oblivion. Now, if you're using words like that, then you're talking about pushing 7 as well.
Nah, it won't be that.
I don't know, man.
I think by that they'll be saying, I don't know, 6.2 maybe.
I mean, I agree, but I'm just saying when you use words like smash to oblivion, 6.1, 6.2 isn't smash into oblivion.
Yeah, but it's clickbait, isn't it?
No, I understand that. I get it. But I'm just saying if supposedly they were to live up to that, I'm thinking it has to be at least 6.3, 6.4, 6.5.
Great. It is a little bit. There is some truth to that statement because let's look at the most popular gaming chip on the planet, the 9800X3D. It hits often hits speeds of 5.4 across 8 cores. And that's impressive considering how that chip actually works. So for them to go past 6, that would be smashing it 100%. Can you imagine if we done both? If we had our cake and we could eat it, we had a 3D cache and we had the high clocks, man. They'd be untouchable. Like they would be so far into the distance. And I don't know if I want that or not because I want the best, but I also want competition because otherwise AMD will just turn into Intel with the highest cost in the market. I don't want that either. So,
well, remember, as cool as this sounds, we're still, a couple of years away. But it's still kind of neat.
But
I'm just mad because if they do switch to these, then I'm gonna have to get another godlike board. That's not fair.
No, you won't need a new board. No. You won't need a board for a bloody decade, probably now.
Okay,
man.
Good.
So just so you guys know, the anything that's crossing the 6K mark is probably not going to have the V cache on it as well. So the V cache, because of the extra heat that the cache puts out, they generally need to bring down the clocks a little bit. So like you said, Trev, 5.4 on the 9800X3D, but the top end chip, the 9950X, without the V cache is 5.7 at least. So and possibly even more. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah,
so,
that's yeah.
You won't have both, and especially if it's something's newly cracking the 6K mark, it's not going to have the V cache. Sorry about that.
Trev, maybe we should experiment. If my 9950 is supposed to get 5.7 and I'm not even overclocked yet, me and you we all might want to just kind of like experiment on my computer, all of us. I'll just sit there and I'll just keep on going up until maybe I can get to 6.
I have a 9950X3D, so I'll be experimenting on my own machine before anyone else's machine. No,
thanks a lot.
No, okay, yeah. Why would I do it in your machine first before I've done it in my machine? I need to know what I'm doing first.
That is at the same time.
All right, so you do it, and if your chip doesn't melt, then I know I can do it.
Well, it won't melt because I also have a bigger cooler than you. You have the 360 millimeter rad.
Oh, give me a break.
I have a 420, and that's important. No, it is important, Gray, because
I think Gray got a 420 as well, didn't he?
Nope, 360.
No, wouldn't fit in the case.
Why does it not fit in a case? It is a full-size PC tower. How does it not fit in a case? It's a shit case.
No, it's a good case. I like it. But I actually went when the guy was doing it, and you could see. Sorry,
I checked it for you when I said go for this cooler. I checked it. It says in the documentation.
Okay, but when I went there physically to watch and put it in, unfortunately, it was like a couple millimeters too big,
did they try the only way to get
the only yes in the top.
No, you have to put it in the front.
On the top.
You have to put it. You have to replace the fans at the front, isn't it?
You can change position.
I want my fans at the front.
You can change position.
You can put the fans at the top.
You can change position, guys. So it doesn't need to be in the top. Mine can be at the top, the bottom, or the side. That's why I've got this massive case, and I decided to put it on top because that's the default place for it.
Look, I'm not. I did a bunch of research, and I wouldn't mind having a 420, but I'm doing on cooling. I'm doing real good.
You'll be fine.
Just to be clear, Gray, that case can fit a 420. It's just that you have to put it at the front and then you put your existing fans at the top.
But I'm not going to switch that around. Not that I'm seeing how cool this thing runs.
This is the downside. Listen, I know you use your techie guy and he knows what he's doing. But he's got a preference and a way of working, right? Rather than being very open to, this is the best way you can do it, but there are other options if you want them, Mr. Gamer 25. He's just went, nah, won't fit.
Great gamer to you.
Instead of saying, let's stick it at the front, there is a space for that, Great. It's maybe not optimal, but there is a space there. Do you want the option?
No,
he never gave you that option.
I don't think your guy knows what he's doing, Ray.
I'm starting to lean towards that. No, he does. That's harsh.
Geez, guys, come on.
He knows how to do the exact same thing over and over again.
He knows what he's doing. He's just not a 4 out of 5 in the old Trustpilot scale. He's more like a 3.5 out of 5 in the Trustpilot scale. You know?
He's an eBay kind of guy.
Whatever you want to say. All I know is I'm sitting in front of it and he did a great job. I'm very happy.
Did he put your RAM the right way around?
What did they charge you for it? I don't know if he did, man. You used $450 to put a bloody PC together.
There's nobody.
I'm doing that. If anybody wants me to put their PC together, any configuration.
First of all, the going rate over here.
That was at cap. It would have went high.
The going rate over here is that because there's nobody here that knows what they're doing. Let's put it this way. At least knows what they're doing. They always charge that much. That's common.
He knows what he's doing.
No, hey, look, I could have went to Geek Squad. They would have charged me more, and I don't trust them at all.
Geek Squad,
or do it yourself.
No way. Yeah,
it's easy.
I don't want to do it myself. I made a conscious decision that I didn't want to do it myself because I've done that route for a long time, and I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm sorry. It's just and he did take my advice on a couple things like changing up on the paste, etc., and using the stuff that I bought. Who the fuck is this guy? And and I'm telling you, you're not here looking at it, but it's really nice. I really like it. He did a great job, and I just love rocking this chip on the board, man.
What you've got is fine. You don't need a bigger cooler. Of course you don't. I'm just thinking the reason I changed case, I didn't need to change a case. I only had to change my chip. I changed my case because I wanted to fit in a 420mm radiator so that I have the biggest cooling solution short of going for a custom loop solution, which I don't want to touch. So,
I mean, in the front I have 420s, obviously, but I don't mind. I mean, I'm not really. I'm not seeing where it's making that much of a difference. So
because you're not overclocking, you don't need to. I would say for that chip, a 360 is probably the norm. I wouldn't have went less than that. But if you want to overclock, you should really go for a 420 because you'll get
But I'm not the kind of person that's going to do that kind of overclocking. I'll do a little. The nice thing about the God board, the Godlink board, is that it has, I think, 12 levels built in, so you can actually say, do this one, number one, and then you see if it's right.
It has AI.
And then go. No, it's just like Matt just said, it's steps. So basically, you just sit there and you plug in. Right, and so you do one at a time until it can't handle it or whatever, and then you come back one and you're good.
Can you set it to auto? There's an AI feature on some boards like Asus have a AI thing where you can just set it to auto and it'll do it for you.
There is some of that in there.
Set it to that and just leave it be. You
should have like a auto performance mode, auto baseline mode.
It's a godlike board after all.
Yeah.
I do have some of that. In fact, I saw a video, pretty good one on YouTube where the guy was going through all the things on my board. And I was just like, wow, there's a lot of shit going on that you can mess with if you really want to. It's also designed to overclock your RAM easily too. I'm not going to mess with it, but I'm just saying you can. I mean, you spend enough money on the board, it ought to do that and sing a tune for you too. So,
he does.
It does, but I'm happy with it. I'm all good.
That's the main thing.
So, anyway,
nice.
So we got
Back
that
to
done.
me.
What we got? We're only an hour and a half in. So
Xbox.
Oh, you want to do that one? Okay, I was gonna wait, but that's cool.
No, because it's still your section.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I saw this article. I thought it was interesting. Apparently, one of the originators of Xbox way back, one of the founding team members, actually. He came out with a quote, and the quote was, "It looks like Xbox has no desire, or literally can't, ship hardware anymore." I was like, "Ooh," taking a shot at them. And then he followed it up, said, "I don't love watching all the value that I helped create slowly get eroded away." And he's really on a tear with this. And or I should say she, Laura Fryer, she believes the firm's hardware ambitions are dead. She even goes out to say, is the flashy new ROG Ally the real deal? And says that she has no idea where we're going with this anymore. He said this is even worse. She goes, there is literally no reason to buy the ROG Xbox Ally. So You think she's disappointed? Maybe a little.
Just a
Yeah,
little.
but haven't they made a conscious decision? Like, it feels like they've made a conscious decision. All of their advertising is around, Xbox. Get your Xbox everywhere. Your Xbox is everywhere, or whatever their slogan is now. So
right, play it anywhere. Yeah.
That's a conscious decision. I think she's just a bit butthurt.
Oh, she is. There's no doubt. I mean, I understand where she's coming from, but boy, she just went at it, man. I mean, she's just knocking it entirely. But I mean, it's kind of like, well, you did what you did, and it was great. But all right, relax.
Yeah,
I mean,
times change. Things
I don't blame them for going down that route. They knew they were getting beat in the console sales. PlayStation smashing them about the place every generation, more or less. They've never won a generation. They got close with the Xbox 360 generation against the PS3 because the PS3 used that cell chip, and that started off horribly, but then when developers get used to it, it started rallying towards the end and beat the 360 just and no more. I love the 360. That's when I stopped at the generation after that. But I'm not really surprised it's going that way. They're just pivoting in a different direction. They know they can't win the hardware, so let's just go for software and let's not do exclusives anymore, because exclusives are just stupid, as they've proved. They've proven that point. They are selling their games on many platforms, and whenever they sell their games that have been on Xbox for a while and put them on PlayStation, they become some of the top sellers on PlayStation and all the top pre-orders, because PlayStation people are like, I can have my cake and eat it. I can play all my Sony games, and then Xbox will bring their games over, and they'll do the same with Switch as well. Wait till you see. They haven't announced much yet, but wait till you see Nintendo Direct or something, and it'll be Phil Spencer. Yeah, we're bringing Call of Duty 7 to the Switch, and that'll happen. So I think they've got their own, and Game Pass is number one. So,
and probably Assassin's Creed will get to Switch too.
And I think my prediction is that when SteamOS properly gets off the ground, I think we're going to see the big kind of like erosion of the console space. And I think you'll see a lot of people rocking what, they tried to do 10 years ago, which is a Steam machine in place of a console.
Oh yeah.
But they'll have Steam on it, but also they'll be able to use your what's the Xbox thing with the Xbox Live with all the games, the subscription service, whatever it's called.
Xbox Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Yeah, I wonder if the Ally is capable of being nerfed and put in the Steam OS instead.
Yes, it's not nerfed. It's going to cover all gaming services. It's going to be open to use them all, so you don't need to choose. That's the best of it. That's why this everything's going to be an Xbox. You could run Steam on it if you wanted to. Ubisoft.
The Ally is using Windows, right?
Yeah, but
right now,
the new version they bring out is going to be. This is what I said before. I don't know if you were on this one, Tar.
It's the first really cut down one.
Customized, yes. So basically, the Xbox engineers, or their division of the Windows side of things, were allowed to actually go in with Windows and all the software and go, right, let's just make this first and foremost for gaming. So when you load it up, you don't see a Windows, you don't see a Windows desktop, although it's there underlying. Yes. Maybe you can boot into it at some point with an option, but it won't boot into that by default, and that you're cutting out all the shit. And I think in paper this has got the makings of something that could be phenomenal, potentially.
I think it'll be like Steam Big Picture Mode, when you've got that'll be its default, the Big Picture Mode, but you can change it into the regular desktop version.
That's reasonable. So
I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Hey, watch all our spaces. In fact, tune in every week. All right, we're going to go ahead and move up back to some more hardware tech news, and Trev's got a few things to do.
I do. I've got the things. Asus ROG new to be. So they're 5090. That's called the Asus ROG Astro RTX 5090 OC. Never get an overclocked.
That's a long name,
card.
Man.
Yeah. It is, but it means it can charge more for it. The reason I bring this up is it broke the Port Royal with cheese. I always struggle with that word. Port Royal world record.
Yeah, but it's the metric system.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just thinking of Pulp Fiction there. It achieved a solid score of 47,375. Now, this is a big deal because these cards cost an absolute utter fortune, as we know. I'm actually trying to see if I can see a price on the thing because it kind of scares me. The GPU runs
about $3,000.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's a markup of nearly a third.
Wow.
I take it that's pounds, Taro, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So out the box, well, this one, 2,610 megahertz out the box, has the usual better cooling and overclocking. It can be pushed beyond 3 gigahertz, so there's good silicon in there. The screenshot that I have here does show a boost clock of just over 3,000 megahertz, which is normally lower, but the GPU could actually reach nearly 3.5 with really, really good cooling overclocking. I find this kind of batshit crazy a little bit, that actually GPUs can actually get that far. I'll share this really, if it works, that is. I'll share this really, really quickly, because there's a picture of the thing. I mean, it does look pretty. I'm sorry if I look a bit vain and naive there,
Yeah,
but
that's nice.
It looks it's shiny. I like it. I
Doesn't
mean, that
look
must
as
be
good as the Toy
The
Story version.
purples and-
No, it doesn't.
No.
True, Matt. True.
Yeah.
Or the Gundam version.
Yeah.
Gundam
Beats
version,
that,
yeah.
man.
The thing's an absolute beast. Now, listen, I when I see these things, I always pay a little bit of attention to them. I'll never buy one because it's a little bit nuts. But just to give you an idea, the average score on Port Royal is just over 36,000. So to actually get roughly 31% higher just shows that maybe you are getting bang for your buck. I know I say that not lightly, guys, when I make that statement, considering it's 3 odd grand. So, but yeah, if you've got lots of money and you can get a hold of one, go and buy an Asus ROG, to be fair.
And then come to us and let us know how it's working.
Or let us test it for science and we'll send it back.
There you go. Just send it our way first.
On a permanent
We'll mess
basis.
with it and send it back to you. And then when we send it back to them, we'll send it back with those, a bunch of foam and
Nothing in the
GPU.
box.
And a 9060 instead.
Some rocks.
You dirty pirate. We talked about this a little while back. Nvidia coming out, heavy rumours again, but I think they're probably strong rumours, to be fair. Bringing out their super variants of their 5000 series cards. The 5070, because they want more money, Gray.
Money. Money.
The money's 5070 Super GPU spec leak, 6400 cores, 18 gigabytes of memory, 275 watt TDP, 18 gig. That's where they're going with this one, Gray. That's how they know they pissed people off last time. So what they're going to do now is bring out more VRAM, because we know 16 for that price was not acceptable. So they give you 2 gig extra. Does that make you happy or still mad?
No, the 5070 was 12, not 16.
Oh, true. I'm not, maybe not like for like comparison. Fair enough. But yeah, it's if you're going to go down that route, Taro, it is a nice increase of 4. 4 actually. Can I count? Yeah, 4. No, 6. Can't count. So I no clues on price or anything like that at the moment. It just has additional cores and a slightly higher power draw. The problem is, this happened to the 4000 series cards. The supers are what they should have been first time around. I don't know if you boys agree or disagree with that.
Right.
It's
Definitely.
sounding like, see if they brought this out roughly about the same price, maybe slightly higher, we would have been slightly less peeved. We'd have still been pissed off because we're allowed to be, we're consumers.
Oh, because we're always pissed off at Nvidia, man.
Yeah.
So if people haven't figured this out yet, never buy the first lot of Nvidia graphics cards. Wait until the second lot comes, which is
Or
6
third.
months afterwards or so? 8 months maybe?
So they bring out a generation every 2 years, and every other year in between they usually bring out their supers or their TIs or whatever.
Yeah, because a 5070 at what, 700 quid, 650 quid with 12 gigabytes of VRAM is
shocking.
just bad. At 18 gigabytes, that's a much better card. But assume that they're going to be charging more. It'll probably be £800 for that card. But this is the card you want. You don't want the one with 12 gigabytes.
Okay, Yoda. This is the card you want. Yes.
I got a 4700 12 gigabytes. I'm very happy.
Much to learn you have about GPUs.
I wonder
do
why you're
200
called Jedi, bitch. I wonder, man, really.
I'm doing 230 FPS in Stellar Blade with a 4070 Super.
One, you need
There you
all
go.
those. You need all those frames for the jiggle physics. To be fair, you need them frames.
Right.
We all need that. In
I need more.
Tar, you missed that. I don't know if you've caught up in the pods, but was it last week's pod?
Yeah, last week.
Where we're doing the jiggle physics, man, and I showed it and we're slowing it down. And everybody, Matt comes out with a belt and he's like, there's a bloody cheeseburger in there. Oh my God.
And Mackey's.
I know. I got to pull the outtakes for that. That was some good stuff.
That was epic, man. But yeah, so Taro hits the nail on the head. He really does. I was just impatient and got a 5080. Yeah, I mean, I wanted a shiny edition. I wanted a Doom edition. I couldn't afford that, so I got a Zotac, and I love the Zotac cards.
Your 5080 was my godlike board. I get it. You just had to plunk it down.
Maybe, yeah. That's a fair analogy, Gray. That's a fair analogy. So yeah, they'll probably get announced. I'd imagine they'll bring them out probably like CES, like they usually do at the start of the year. Maybe sooner if they're not making enough money. Low. And then don't get me started. It's a little side tangent. They're 50-50 that they're bringing out shortly.
Out mid-July, isn't it?
That is a cluster. Sweary word. It is. It's Tar. You want to say something about this? I know you do. Do you agree?
Well, I just want to say I'm not too sure about this one.
For 250.
The 50-50. It's a joke.
I'm 50-50.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's great. That's great.
No, my head. No.
Nice.
So, an effect needs to go in there, tumbleweed or something.
Sorry,
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
I'll work on that next time.
Well, anyway, shocking joke aside.
I heard Nvidia was putting out 4 new cards. This is what I'm hearing. I read this online.
Yeah.
So they're going to put 4 cards out, including the 50-50. So I'm like, 4? I mean,
yeah, there's variants. Yeah. There's Chinese variant, and yeah.
And apparently, I'm hearing that the bricks and mortar shops, like your micro centers, have got all of the GPUs stacked high on all of the shelves. There is, not only is there no scarcity anymore, but the shelves and the warehouses are literally full of them. People are not buying them.
Yeah, really high. Yeah, if you watch the videos, J2 Sense and whatnot, Gamers Nexus, they know they need to do something. How about trying to lower prices? If you'll never get rid of a lot of your current stock if you don't.
How about this, Nvidia? How about this? Try value for the customer.
I thought you were going to say Valium.
Yeah.
Tar, there's a very good reason that Nvidia don't make a lot of founders cards anymore, or if they do, it's just one initial lot, and then after that they don't put them back into stock because they make most of their money by selling their chips to board manufacturers, and that's how they make a lot of their money. That I'm talking about the gaming division, not talking about AI. If we're just talking about the gaming, they don't care about that. So why would they don't need to clear a lot of stock, but their board partners sure do. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. So, but anyway, yeah,
I wouldn't want to be a board partner for Nvidia. I'll tell you that for sure.
Well, look at is it EVGA? Like when screw this, and it's a shame because they were one of the top players in that market. They're gone.
They were the best. They were the only ones that were like really had their finger on the pulse with the customer, and they were like. But
it wasn't just because they stopped making. It wasn't just because EVGA decided not to go with the GPUs. They were having issues, and this is why they're practically out of business. All they make now is a power supply. That's it.
Yeah.
I think it was because I think 80 or 90% of their business revolved around GPUs, and they thought that they could make it work without Nvidia GPUs, and it just seems that they just couldn't. So
I still think it had nothing to do with it. Not nothing to do with it, but I feel that was only part of it, because you don't come out and make a dumbass business decision like that if you're not already having other problems too.
What do you think the other problems are then? Because as far as I think as a customer of EVGA, I was very satisfied with their products.
I was too. They made some good stuff. I think apparently there's something going on with the financials or the investors or whatever you want to call it. Much like what and see, Intel can take a loss. And they can come back. They can come back strong eventually, but something like an EVGA aren't an Intel. So if they get nailed, I'm back, and now we're gonna say goodbye because they came back. Bye.
Hey, hello,
goodbye.
Bye. Nice.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.